I was telling you off mic last time you were here, you gave me this beautiful towel. I still use it. So thank you for it. It's very big. It's a big,
Thank you
nice
for having me
red
back.
towel. Yeah, no, this is swim season and I need us to not drown. Drowning has claimed approximately 3,500 lives a year. 25% are children under the age of 14. A lot of them are also black children drown 5.5 times at a higher rate than their melanemic peers. And I don't want any child or any adult actually to drown or even be afraid of water. So many Black people don't even know how to swim. So
Absolutely.
let's talk.
Absolutely. I mean, I know for those that have heard me before, they know a little bit about my story, but nearly drowning at the age of 5. And then, you know, Karen, I believe in irony, 20 years later, becoming an Olympic gold medalist and a world record holder, you know, I started thinking about all those people that used to make fun of me, being like, oh, you wear those Speedos, you know, they played track or they ran track or played football or did something else. But, you know, it did change when you get the gold medal. People are like, oh, how's swimming? It changes a little bit, but it definitely made me think about all those people that made fun of me. I'm like, wait, being near water is life or death for you. For me, it's fun. Like someone pushes me in, we're joking around, I'm laughing, unless it's cold, then I'm mad. But it's a joke at that point. For so many people of our community, Black and brown community, if they're near water, it's a life or death situation. So we got to talk about this. We got to talk about getting people water safe.
Well, for the record, which he holds, Cullen is the first Black man to hold a world record in the 4x100 freestyle relay. That's right. He did that. So yes, you still hold the record. And then you broke the American record in the 50-meter freestyle. But you still hold that record?
I still hold the world record with Michael Phelps and Jason Lezak and Garrett Weber-Gale. The American record, one of our swimmers, Caleb Dressel, he took it. It's all right. Young buck,
okay.
You have it.
All
it's
right.
yours. Keep it going.
All right. 6'5". I guess people expected you to play basketball or do some baseball or something, right? But
I got it
volleyball.
I got it all the time. Usually basketball. Definitely got hit up for football quite a few times because I was quick no matter what. I did track for a little bit. I was fast. But then swimming came hard. It was hard for me. It was like, you know, everything that I put into it, I saw immediately back, but also I just love the water. And it was something that like just took over when I was about 14 years old. I played everything. And then this one kid just kept beating me. And then I looked at my mom, I was like, yo, this is enough. How do I get better? And she knew at that moment that everything else kind of faded to black and it was all swimming for me.
How did you get better?
One of the things was my mom said that I needed to go to practice every day. Like I needed to not miss practice because, you know, she didn't know how to help me get better at swimming. She didn't know how to swim herself. Then she was like, well, you got to start listening to your coaches and stop being the class clown. I'm tired of them calling me all the time because you're the loudest one in the pool, not paying attention. I was like, okay. Then she was like, you got to eat Brussels sprouts. Karen, that was the hard one. That was the tough one. I was like, wait, Brussels sprouts? She was like, yeah, whatever you put into your body will ultimately dictate how fast you swim. So I went to practice. I stopped being the class clown and I ate a lot of broccoli and a lot of Brussels sprouts. And then that next year I won. And so after that, it was like a drug. I was like, okay, like, how do I keep doing this? How do I get better? And since the age of 14, it's just been the road to constantly trying to be better.
8668. Oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted to give out the number, Tonya. 866-801-8255.
I love that I heard you said that, you know, people say they can't float and you said you can't float.
No, muscle doesn't float. I remember hearing about in 1984, that baseball announcer being like, well, Black people can't swim because of their bone density. No, that has nothing to do with it. Everybody's body is different. How you relate to the water, your body, Karen, is going to be different from Tanya's body, is going to be different from my body. We need to figure out how we acclimate with the water. And the only way to do that is to have swim lessons, get in and understand how you work in the water. Everyone can learn to swim. There is not one person on this planet that can't learn to swim. You just have to figure out how the water and you work. And the only way to do that is to take the first step by getting in the water.
So I'm a person who scuba dived without learning how to swim. I took an open water scuba diving class without knowing how to swim.
I was going to say it too. What?
Right. But, you know, under the water is a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
The challenge for me with the swimming is the coordinating of this.
Yes. The breathing.
The breathing. I was going to,
It's
the breathing in the head.
I can't get that.
Can you dance?
No.
Okay, well, she has no rhythm. She has no rhythm.
That's a good question too. Swimming has a lot of rhythm in it. It does.
I don't have any rhythm.
It's a finesse kind of a sport. There's a lot of strength behind it, which is why I can't float, because muscle sinks. When it comes to the breathing, again, it's practice. One of my brothers, he's a bronze medalist, Jamal Hill. He's another Speedo athlete. He started doing, I like to call it the Uber of swim lessons. He got a bowl and was telling people, put your face in the bowl and turn your head. Breathe in from your mouth, blow out of your nose in the bowl, and turn. This is Uber of swimming lessons, because the hardest part that everyone says is the breathing part. So now you can do it at home with your hair tied up. Sorry, I can't join you on that one, but I can, you can do it from home in your sweatpants, and you can try learning to breathe comfortably in your own home. If you don't feel good, you just sit up. And you just,
but I can't do my arms at the same time.
That's all right. But first get the breathe, because I was gonna ask you, Cullen, I do 1, 2, 3, breathe. 1, 2, 3. Like I count in my head. And when I do my breaststroke is kick, pull, glide, or it's glide, kick, glide, pull, kick, glide, pull. Like I'm talking to myself as I'm pulling, kick, glide, pull to get that breath, right? And then I count, I either do, and then sometimes I will go. So do you breathe every other, or do you have a rhythm or a method of how you catch your breath?
The term is bilateral breathing. So you're breathing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right. Keeps you on both sides. So that actually kind of helps your stroke, to smoothen out your stroke. So we do have a lot of swimmers that we teach to do that, because some swimmers are just muscling through the water and just kind of smooths them out. It's really up to you. It's really up to your practice. Tonya, you were getting it, girl. I thank you. Now you just need a bowl of water.
No, but her arm, she's doing like she's doing the dramatic Broadway dance.
But I gotta exhale underwater, inhale when I come up. So exhale underwater,
blow out
when I come up.
Right.
Blow out,
and
inhale.
take a little breath. But actually, you just suck in a little air, and you don't want to,
you're getting real like professional on it since the last time.
I'm a lifeguard, Cullen. Let me just tell you, I can save everybody's life in here if I had to. I took lifeguard lessons. Thank you, Sharp James, for your life. He had a program in Newark, the Newark pool there. And I, even though I didn't live in Newark, I know it was illegal, but I went there and took a lifeguard lesson, and it was like 8 weeks or something. And it was amazing, because I learned getting a brick from a 12-foot, and then swimming with the brick, and then swimming with. So all of that is important, because it makes you even stronger, right?
Absolutely. I mean, the pool that you're talking about, Sharp James was the mayor when I was in Jersey at the time, and I was at JFK. I was swimming there. That's where my team swam out of. So I know that pool very, very well. When I go home, I try to get in there from time to time and at least try to check it out.
When the roof retracts in the summertime, that's one of, that man had a vision for what the kids needed in Newark, and that JFK pool it's just chef's kiss.
It was revolutionary and ahead of its time for swimming, especially in Black and Brown community. I mean, you just don't see that. So shout out to Sharp James, shout out to Newark for having great swim programs out there, and made me.
Wait, pause. Just for folk, see how somebody could be complicated and still do, like, we can praise them. You could be, man, yes, he went to jail and all of this stuff, but when somebody does well and does good, we should say it and not be afraid to say it, just because they also made mistakes. That's fine. We're human.
Let's highlight the good. Let's highlight some of the good, especially when it comes to swimming, because we want people to learn to swim. Let's highlight the good.
Now, I can't doggy paddle, though. I can't tread.
Okay.
Well, that's different. Those are two different things, Tonya. Treading and doggy paddle.
Do the certifications now in scuba diving, you got to tread for 10 minutes.
Yes. Which you have 2 flotation devices called titties that should make it a lot easier for you. Because mine, I've tread water for hours. I actually had a tread water competition, and I treaded water from the middle of the afternoon all the way to night, because somebody challenged me, and I'm that chick. But I got flotation. It was unfair, because I got the flotation devices. I was just like, just kick my legs, and my titties kept me up. It was wonderful. It's wonderful.
Okay. So I'm going to say this for everyone else. If you're trying to learn to float, the best way to do it is to hold your breath. You take a big gulp of air, and then you fill your lungs up. Once you fill your lungs up, you become buoyant. So the problem is that once you stop having that oxygen, what happens? You start to go down and under. I'm not touching all the other stuff. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that.
All right. But for somebody that's well muscled, like have 5% body fat or something, maybe 3%?
Yeah, probably 15. I'm retired.
Okay, all right. You're retired. Okay. But that is you're like a rock in the, like a big boulder. So when I took another advanced class because I was going to start teaching, and there were a lot of people in the class that didn't have float, a lot of adipose that like I have a lot of it that helps me float. But so she told them to round their back, take that deep breath, and then just put yourself in a ball.
Yeah.
Is that, and then
that's a great way. It's the same thing. It's filling your chest up with oxygen. At that point, you become buoyant. It's like having a water jug. If you put air in it, it's going to pop up and stay on top of the water. So you're essentially doing the same thing, filling your chest up with that oxygen and then being buoyant at that point. I can be buoyant. It's only for a couple of seconds though.
You should be fine then. Yeah, especially in the ocean.
You just got to practice. Oh yeah, the salt water definitely helps.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You just need, Tonya, you just need to have people. The fear. Let's talk about the fear. Cullen Jones, we're going to take calls. We got callers, people online. Bridget, we see you, and Charlotte in Atlanta, Georgia. The fear, though, that panic, that fear, how impactful is that in terms of people not learning?
It started, I was not knowledgeable about it enough. I could think about my mom who was afraid, me nearly drowning. At 15, she was telling me the story. She was just like, look, this is what happened. She's crying back tears. So it was the fear aspect of things is generational, especially in the Black and Brown community. But it wasn't until I started working with USA Swimming Foundation and Phillips 66, and we started the Make a Splash initiative, was when the University of UNLV and University of Memphis started doing a study. And they came up with 3 major reasons. And the number one overarching reason, Karen, is fear. So you've got parents that are afraid, that are transplanting all of that fear onto their children. So it's truly generational. If a parent doesn't know how to swim, there's a 13% chance that child will learn how to swim. If a parent does know how to swim, if you only have one parent that knows how to swim, that jumps to an 88% chance that child, it becomes a no-brainer. They're like, look, of course I'm going to have my child learn to swim. And so that's why it's so important that we get people into the water. Now, fear, listen, I almost drowned at 5. My mom had 5 different teachers to get me to get comfortable, not good, comfortable around water. So for all those that are out there that have had—
Did you say 5, not 1, not 2, 5 different teachers?
5 different teachers. That's a whole lot of Ys and a whole lot of Boys and Girls Clubs. 5 different teachers before I actually started feeling comfortable again. And I always equate it to, like, we all have that favorite math teacher, English teacher, social studies teacher, whatever, right? They say it a little bit different, and then it clicks in your head and you're like, oh, that's what everyone else was trying to say. And that's how it was for swimming. So for all those that are afraid, that are nervous around water, if you don't have that great bond with the teacher, there's so many great lifeguards, there's so many great teachers out there. Don't give up. Just go out there, and maybe you just need to hear it a little different from someone else.
Well, I have taken a lot of lessons. I don't feel afraid of the water. I just think I don't have any coordination. My children all swim.
All right. So you're uncoordinated. Maybe you need to take a salsa lesson. Maybe you need to get with Dante and get a little bang.
The knees say no. I go to the salsa, baby. The knees say no.
She needs a little ta-da-da-ta-ta.
Well, I'm not even going to hit you with the coordination because there's some really uncoordinated swimmers. I'm sorry for all those teammates that
I'm thinking Michael Phelps might be uncoordinated as F. He looks like he's
my brother.
Probably
I'm not throwing him out there like that. I'm not saying whether he's coordinated or not. I'm just saying it has nothing to do with swimming. Nothing to do with swimming.
I'm gonna practice 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
I don't like the way she's holding her fingers though. But you have to imagine yourself cupping your hands and you're scooping the water
over enough either.
Karen.
I don't think I roll.
I'm trying to help her. She got her fingers like she's doing jazz hands.
This isn't the paddle. This isn't the cupping. We have now moved away from cupping, Karen.
No more cupping?
No more
What
cupping.
are we doing, Cullen?
We're using the whole arm. This is the whole paddle, this whole part. So you're pulling your whole arm. Not just
you're not keeping the fingers tight.
Oh, relax.
Damn.
Relax the fingers. You're using your whole arm to pull that water.
Okay.
And do I have to
just
roll
learned
my
something.
body fully to the side?
100%. When you swim freestyle, you should be moving side to side. So it's going from side to side. That's why it looks
Look
so
at that.
smooth and
Stretch.
clean.
Look at stretch.
Not this.
All right, can we take some calls?